starters, Ostero, Abu, Cruz, Tolenada, Belen, and Bitsenko as their reinforcement. And of course, are starting out Sapete and Tolentino as the setter. And of course, alongside Musa, Phillips.
The youngsters and the vets on the side of Capital 1.
Right, so we begin the match. Capital 1 gets us going with the first point.
Yeah.
On the changes of Coach Gary, what does he want to see possibly with the change he did sa setter, bringing in Tolentino, and then you have Sabete also starting?
Yep, you will need the wing attackers who are good in out of systems with them having more potential scorers, and I believe Sabete.
And a couple of points now up for Petro Gazz, but Musa.
So that's something Petro Gazz has to really figure out.
At yung balance, yung yin and yang ni
Yes.
Iris at Sasha that Kyla mentioned to us earlier at the top of the coverage as a block for Capital 1. To see for Coach Jorge De Brito for your bench players to also step up, but Belen will come up short. 4-23. They need a good reception. Talking about Capital 1, that's it. Covered by Doromal, second try for Belen.
Oh, great dig this time.
Dug by Pineda. Here comes Van Sickle. Not just yet. Iris. Back to Bella. Off the block. And out. That's the point. She knew it.
She knew right away. And then they will take advantage of it right now as we are at 24 all.
Might as well. If this could be in their favor, this result.
Set number 1.
Yeah. Bitsenko now has 9 points. Here in set 1, that's a good serve. Tolentino was forced to give up that tough set. Chance now for the Solar Spikers. Sasha, dug by Pineda. Van Sickle.
Wow.
Ostero with a save. Abu keeps it up and Belen sends it over. Play on. Buhay pa. Belen. Yes. Down it goes for Bella Belen. And set 1 goes to the Solar Spikers.
Capital 1 playing with a lot of resilience here.
For both teams as we begin set number 2 here. Once again on One Sports, on One Sports Plus, and on Pilipinas Live de Bianco. Yes, after that service error. Almost an ace. Free ball given up by Doromal. The far end picked up by Van Sickle. Van der Weide, it drops.
Marathon match, what they want is a convincing statement win. But time and time again, we say that there's
unfortunately, they just didn't get that win against Cherry Tigo. But again, we talked about how close that was, Ayel.
It's another learning experience for a young squad like Capital 1.
Doromal with a setup to Bitsenko. Good serve there by Sabete. Jules goes back to Phillips.
But Capital 1.
Sabete had to take a double step dahil wala pa yung pito. Belen had to stretch Van Sickle. And Tolenada couldn't control as Brooks scores from the back.
MJ Phillips was on the road earlier. This time, Brooke Van Sickle.
5 points away from tying this one up, 1 set apiece. Tough.
Yep,
Not
high.
the best set for Belen. He had to. Covered. Free ball though for Petro Gazz. Tolentino. Van Sickle. Oh, good play by Belen to keep the ball alive. Eventually, it goes for Petro Gazz. Van Sickle with a point.
And Petro Gazz also not stopping. And
Multi-sport din pala si
pala sa
Bella Belen.
football.
Van Sickle this time changing speed for the Angels. Cruising. And their floor defense has been excellent in this match. Van Sickle not expecting that one, but she'll... Belen, it's out, and that ends.
An offense, so let's see how they will be able to adjust here in set number 3.
All right, we are underway in the third set, and we begin with an ace. All Pilipinas Live originals anytime, anywhere, and on any device. Ganda ng mga interviews na ni Eliza Valdez with volleyball icons that you'll get to enjoy only on the Pilipinas Live app. Again, Aces Season 2, so do watch that.
Pineda again with a dig.
Everywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
Pancho gets a touch. Bitsenko waits for it. Pineda will set up the play. Lindsay with a swing. So yung dalawang points ng Capital 1 off of that same coverage mishap on the side of the Angels.
Right. Blocking a Lindsay player of Petro Gazz.
Bitsenko. Oh, good effort, but can't keep it in play. There was a block touch on Van Sickle. Free ball. Second try here. They will redo. Aiza dug by Yandok. And that is a point for Petro Gazz. No. Sasha Bitsenko trying to keep warm on the bench, but they're taking this time to let her get some rest, possibly before they try to go for a win in set 4.
Yep.
No, that was clearly above.
Yep, clean.
Yes, gitna. We resume here. Van der Weide picked up by Doromal. Belen covered by Roma. Sasha on the attack. Doesn't get it. Aiza. Doromal has covered that one. Bitsenko not even jumping. She's that tall.
Oh, what a save from Pineda.
We go on.
Bitsenko.
Ooh, still playable. That is alive. Boy pa.
On rally.
Lindsay. Dug by Doromal, and finally it ends. Roma gave her all, but Petro Gazz just had more in their tank in that sequence.
Sasha Bitsenko
Has done a great job here, up by 14. And a block to end it. Sealing the deal here in set number 3 as the Petro Gazz Angels take it 25-10. This point is brought to you by Myra B. Vita Brighter. Combining for 28. That duo as we now are underway in the 4th set. Thank you all for joining us. Belen.
dug again by Pineda.
And a point for Lindsay. Estrella, roofed. Read perfectly by the defense and the towers. Tolentino goes to Phillips. Saved by Estrella. Second try for Petro Gazz, Van der Weide. But easier said than done with the way Lindsay is now playing. Phillips as well.
Bang Pineda. Change things a bit.
Yeah. Van Sickle gets a touch. Brooke with a send over. Straight to Roma. Abu. Naibalik. Tolentino pumps it to Van der Weide. Brook gets the point and puts Petro Gazz at match point. 20 points for Van Sickle. And Tolentino serving for the match. Tolenada sets up Singh. Off the block and out.
Singh coming off the bench for Belen.
With the Galleries Tower high risers who have yet to win in this conference, so that's something that they could take care of.
Yeah.
They will still be able to advance, most likely in the quarters, but they have to win that. Meanwhile, for Petro Gazz, they finish off